All right, I fell for the hype. I went out and bought the Roland P-6. No, this ain't sponsored. I saw all the marketing, I saw all that it could do, then I saw the price tag and I said, you know what? I gotta check this thing out and see where its edges are. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna be making a track from scratch, sampling a bunch of the synths here, using the microphone, and just kind of button up against some of its limitations and some of its like quirks and features. There's a few weird things about this thing, you know, with the hieroglyphic screen, the no projects or anything like that. But when we Zen mind, beginner's mind out of it, it's actually a really cool device, especially for the price. All right, let's get into it. I'm gonna go ahead and step sequence this real quick. Now I'm gonna put another step here and go and hit Granular. Now, the one thing I will say about the P6, it's very much a Roland device where you have like, this is like a one-way ticket to Fiddletown. It is so fiddly and weird, and like trying to understand this screen and what the hieroglyphs mean is crazy. And don't open the manual on Safari because that will confuse you even more. I think you got to open it up on Chrome, at least for the PDF version. It can do a lot, but it takes a sec, right? So we got our little clap here. Oh, this is gonna bug the crap out of me. One sec. All right, nothing a little tape can't fix, right? I'm gonna live record this in, but with quantization off. I will say that these pads are kind of hard to hit in time because they have a lot of like throw and movement. Not like this where it's really solid. There's clearly like a button press. This is very much kind of like the SP404. Like there's a point where you can push the button without it even triggering and then it triggers. So I'm gonna have to hit this really hard, so I'm most likely gonna end up muting this. But anyway, here, let's see. And here's the other thing that's cool about this is when you hold this down and you hit the granular button, you have a couple things here. So you can see my micro timing for this is 58, which means it's pushed off a little bit, but I can bring it back on. But I kind of like it where it was. Oh, I like it. Now, if I want to mess with velocity, same thing, V, or this little lowercase u. You know, I wish they went with a better screen, of course, but whatever. This thing's cheap. It's like, what, $229 or something like that? Now, I want to edit this and shorten it up, right? How do we do that? We're going to go to Shift, Voice, and then this is our ADSR, and then just turning our sustain down and playing with our decay. That's a smoother roll off to me. Now I'm going to try putting in a couple more steps here and then lowering the velocity of it. Oh my God. So I thought copying and pasting would be easy, right? There's a copy button here. But look, if I wanted to copy and paste this step to all of these, you're better off just going like this and going to velocity and doing this. Because look, I have to make sure the sequencer is off, then hit record, then hold this down, then make sure you hold keyboard first, then octave up, then select copy and hit enter. Now that that's copied, we can exit this, go back here, keyboard, octave up, scroll over to paste, hit enter, done, and then I have to exit, go to the next one, wait, keyboard, octave, enter, done. I think I did it. Okay, I did. I just don't want that one on there. Fiddletown, man. Okay, let's record some synthesizers in. We're on bank B. I'm gonna hit record. Now I will say I love how easy it is to delete samples on here. Some samplers make it really difficult, or it's always tricky, or you need to pull out a computer or something like that. So delete, boom, 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 delete, and they're gone. Simple. Now when I go to sampling, I select this. We're gonna choose our Lo-Fi. I'm actually gonna sample it at 44.1, and I'm gonna set our threshold to -24 dB, and then our sample length to free. We'll just see where it goes. All right, let that grab in. Boom, normalizing it. Now that it's here, keyboard. I do love that you can choose between stereo and mono, and then the lo-fi is really dope. And the The software editor thing is actually super sick because you could truncate and downsample and all that stuff right there and then shoot it over. It is a little weird. I mean, Loop Hop mentioned it where you have to keep turning it off and then on to put it into the loader mode. Load samples, turn it off, or write it, and it's Fiddletown. Anyway, we're here. Let's make some music. Now, we got this simple 1-bar pattern. We want to make it 2. I'm going to go to copy, duplicate, enter. You know what? Let's do it again. We're going to go 4 bars. I'm going to set this to gate. And then I'm going to go to our voice menu here, and this is our ADSR. I like this. I wish there was an easy, maybe there is a shortcut to turn on the metronome, and I just don't know it. Let me just see. Okay, if I hit pattern and play, this is metronome on during pattern play. All right, here we go. Now we can increase this volume. Go to our filter. Wowza. Then we have depth. This is only going to apply the amp envelope's depth to the filter. It doesn't have its own separate filter. Kind of blows, but it's okay. Thing's cheap. What do you expect? What's cool though is you can kind of shape it up, right? If we go over to our voice and then it sounds like velocity is a wait, but there's no velocity sensitivity. So why is it tripping? Oh, wait a minute. Aha! I didn't have record quantize on. That's why. So I'm going to change our start point back to the beginning, and I'm going to edit our steps. This is going to take a sec, so BRB. Well, this blows. Look how this gets saved, because now each page is basically completely filled, and I get it. That's kind of how it has. Oh man, I was hoping that I would just see a single step lit up, and then that step would have like a length. Like this step was held for 8 steps or 16 steps, but instead it's just printed on the entire thing. So every page is technically just going to be completely full. So then how would I adjust that one step point? Well, okay. We push through, right? We'll persevere. I'm going to go ahead and clear this out. We're going to re-record this, and I just want to make sure that record quantize is on. All right, here we go. Oh, man. See, playing these when you're just trying to play them softly and kind of get a groove in is a little tricky. You really have to kind of mash them right on time. And this is like direct monitoring. There's no latency here. Sure, I got the wireless headphones, but hasn't affected me before. Yo, editor Rick here and co-producer Hawkeye. I realized eventually, I'll get to it in the weird settings, but I was battling some strange quantization settings that I discover a little later on. But for the time being, I end up banging my head against the wall trying to get this recording going straight. So I'm going to save you from all of that. And I'm going to stop talking so this fool can get back to sleep. Oh, he's already asleep. Good night. All right, let's get some bass going. All right. Yeah, let's do this. We're going to go ahead and sample this, and we're going to sample this lo-fi style. We're going to go with the 14.7. I'm going to put it right here on 2 and hit sample. It's on standby. There it is. That's all I needed. I wanted those little staccato notes. Now that sounds pretty good. I'm down with that. I need to change that S in gate. We're going to go to voice and give it a little bit of release. That's fine. Filter. It's really quiet, but we're going to. I don't know. Okay, here's another thing. It might just be me, but I think that this depth, going all the way to 255, I know it's just a parameter value between here and there. When I'm at 0, I don't hear it at all. But if I jump to 2, it's already coming through, right? I feel like the the bias of it might be a little weighted in a weird way. I'm always just like in the really, really low section. Yeah, I really do not like those keys at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and copy this pattern over to 2, just so I have a little bit of a backup, right? Now, if I go to pattern 2, it's still here. I'm gonna go to this pad, select the pad, and clear that pad's pattern. Now, if I go to keyboard, okay, that's fine. We're gonna go turn record quantize on, and we're gonna play this in. Oh boy. Oh boy. Here, wait, what are you doing? Why are you putting steps in? But, what? What? Oh, I know what's happening. Because the sequencer is stopped and I have record on, whatever step it's looking at, step 1, I can build a chord on step 1. If this was in, for example, poly mode, I can say play this, that on step 1. So when I go to step 1, it's all of those together. Watch. Right? But we don't want that. So right now it's looking at step 1, even though I'm in keyboard mode. Without keyboard mode, I'm scrolling through the steps. So that part's kind of cool. That's kind of what I was hoping for with that other thing I mentioned, like allow me to go into that step and then choose the lengths of everything. But then when I'm not in that mode, just show me a step and tell me how long that step is held down for. That way, if I just have these legato chord patterns, it just doesn't look like a brick of a ton of steps and I have to go one by one to figure out what step that the chord changed. I hope that makes sense. I like this thing, I swear. It's pretty good. I mean, come on, it's battery powered. This thing's cool. Anyway, where was I? Keyboard. Oh, look, this is really cool. So this sounds like I have a ton of voices, like I actually sampled it, or like I'm actually playing it off of the third wave because I still have it in poly mode. So when the release happens, it actually still carries on. That's actually cool. I'm gonna leave that on. So play, record on. That's cool. Yeah, record quantize on. Bruh. What are you doing to me? Is there something weird that I'm missing? Quantize timing. 70? What? What does quantize timing mean? Okay, quantize timing is set to 70%. That to me is a little funky, but what it means is if the note you played falls past 70% between the first step that you played and the next following step, it's just gonna jump to the other step, if that makes sense. So if it's 30, okay, you know what, just look at the graph I posted. Basically, I'm gonna set this all the way to 99%, meaning no matter how late I played, as long as it's not in the next step, it's gonna whip that, it's gonna have the reach to grab that note and put it back on that step that I wanted, no matter how late I am. Because if it's only set to 50%, it only has a reach of 50%. If the note was played here, it's gonna put it onto the next step. Really, really trippy way to implement this. Maybe there's something astrophysical here that I don't understand why it was implemented this way, and I'm excited to find out why, but really trippy. So I'm gonna set that to 90%. Maybe you should too if you end up doing the weird same things that I've been doing. There we go. That's okay, whatever. That can be fixed. All right, in it to win it. Here we go. Let's go ahead and lower this down. Adjust our scatter. Scatter's actually pretty dope. Of course, you got looper. filter. Oi. All right, let's record something with the microphone. I need my shaker. Oh, it's over here. Oh, sorry, Hawk. I just woke up my dog. Sorry, buddy. It's gonna bug you? Ah, you chilling. I mean, your ears ain't, but you are. Oh, he's so cute. Look at this fool. Let me just grab. This is all he does. Hey, Hawk. Hawkeye. Hawk. Hawky boy. Hawk. It's like Magilla Gorilla. Do you like the shaker? Listen to me. Love me. There it is. This is our gain.
Oh, heck yeah. Oh, feedback.
Yeah, this is cool. So we're going to utilize a couple of the ways that you can sample on here. I'm going to, of course, have my threshold set to minus 12 dBs. That's fine. And then I'm going to set our length to an actual measure. So we're going to set it to 2 out of 4 bars. Standby is on. What the heck? That is not at all what... Okay, so what just happened is I just resampled the beat. Now, I could be wrong, but I've checked the manual as well as the Roland official channels about them resampling, and they mention nothing about turning resampling on or off when sampling. All you can do is turn the microphone off. So if that's true, then that means you're always in resampling when the mic is on, and then you just need to do that, right? Which is fine. But what I was hoping I would be able to do would be turn off resampling, play the beat, listen to it, and then utilize this, which then says like, you know what? Just record for 2 bars out of 4. So then I can actually hear the 2 bars playing. I guess those settings are really specific to just resampling and not using the microphone. See? I don't know what tempo I'm playing at. Okay, sample here. Okay, maybe that was fast enough. Okay, close enough. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go, this is the other thing. Oh, it's all falling apart. Get it together, Rick. Okay, you would expect that when you hit record. No, you know what? You wouldn't expect this. I would, because of the way that I always use other machines. I come from the electron world, right? I'm so used to when I hit record, I'm entering in steps. But here you have to turn record off to enter in steps. And you turn record on to edit those steps. But that's because with record on is when you can go and apply the parameter style locks to different steps. But turn record off to enter in steps, if that makes sense to you. It does to some folks. It did to Roland. Okay. What I'm going to do is play with our pitch until it kind of lines up. Oh, that is cool. I like that. Now, I also want to put this into gate mode. So we're going to exit this. And we're going to go back to our voice. Open up our decay. And our release. And what's actually kind of cool, they've implemented this. I don't know if this is on other Roland devices, but you have probability, and there's probabilities like 1 out of every 2 times, 2 out of every 2 times. I love these because they help keep the beat interesting, and it breaks you instantly. You just do that one thing. So this means after 64 steps is played 2 times, that's when this one will play, on the second round of 64 steps. So immediately you already have a 128 step pattern, right? Technically, because that only happens once every 128 steps. So I love stuff like that. And there's bigger ones too. So if we went over to our kick drum, which is not that, our kick drum here, and we go back to the first page, I can put a step here, velocity a little lower, probability will go 1 out of every 4 rotations. So now you have a 250 Is my math right? 6-step sequence. So the first time it does it, that's cool. I'm gonna just lower the velocity while we're here. It doesn't do it again, right? Which is great. And if I wanted to copy this, here, 2 out of every 3, and then this one, we're gonna set the probability to 1 out of every 3. So now we got this weird evolving pattern. I'm gonna let you do the math on that, but now you can break yourself out of the typical standard kind of 64-step sequence. So I love utilizing stuff like that. It's a big welcome for me here. Whoa, I don't know what the hell happened there. My kick just disappeared. What? What the hell is happening? What? What happens if I just take those out? Okay. Whatever, that was weird. Okay, so another thing that initially got me excited about the P6, but then I got kind of let down, was the whole bus thing. You get bus A, bus B, and then bus effects. Bus effects, by default, all your sounds are going into this MultiFX section, right? But if you hold down MultiFX and then turn the effects on or off, when they're bright, they're going to be affected by the MultiFX as well as all of these effects here. But when they're dim and you're just holding MultiFX, you send them, you can probably see it here, bus A. So I just sent all my drums to bus A. So in my head, I was like, oh, cool, right? Expectations are the thief of joy time and time again. I expected, wrongly so, that I would be able to apply an effect to bus A, but you cannot. All that bus thing allows you to do, so far from what I can tell from reading the manual and watching the videos, is that you can control the volume of those sounds that you've sent to bus A together as one whole thing. So if I hold down shift while we are in mixer, I have bus A volume, and then I have bus B volume. And you can hear what sounds I've sent to B, what sounds I've sent to A, and then this one will be our effects volume. But once those sounds are there, none of these apply anymore. So you need to go and clear those sounds out, and then you don't get an indication as to what sounds are playing on what banks. Luckily, I so far have been able to remember what sounds are where. So now that they're being sent back to the bus effect, I have control over them. So to my knowledge, bus A and bus B is just an easy way to control multiple sounds volumes at once. You cannot apply effects to it. There's so much more to discover and explore on the Roland P6. So far, I'm digging it, and you know, it's one of those things where you're like, wow, this is only 229 bucks, and then you get it and you're like, oh, I get it. Now I see why it's 229 bucks, and I'm not disappointed. But again, expectations are the thief of joy. I got super hyped. I fell for the marketing. You know, I fell in love with the thing, but then, yeah, you start to realize its limitations pretty quick. You don't have projects. You got to be careful with adjusting samples because they might change on samples on other patterns. At least you have a ton of patterns to choose from. You got 4 banks and then 16 patterns there. That's, you know, you could do some damage, I think. You can probably make a couple tracks and play live with this thing. But then, yeah, you're going to run out of space or time, I guess, at some point, and you can't jump to another project. But, you know, for the price, it's hard to beat. This thing's pretty cool. Internal mic, resampling. I didn't even touch on the granular stuff. That granular stuff's insane. Polyphonic sampling. To sample a single note. This is all you got to do. Look. We'll do this real quick before I roll. Boom. We're going to turn our microphone level down, or actually, we'll just turn that off by plugging this in. Now that's gone. Now, we have a note. Awesome. Of course, it was short, whatever. We didn't set it correctly. But now that this is here, I'll go into poly mode and then go into our keyboard. Yo, come on. For $229? And and you got scales on here and stuff, so you can not do what I'm doing, which sounds pretty awful. It's crazy. It's a cool device. I'm down. I dig it. I'll probably stick around. Anyway, hope to see you again next week. And until then, my friend, you already know the drill. Share the love. Share the knowledge. Knowledge is power. Peace. Let's see if we can kind of perform on this thing. Oh, man. Rest in the key. When in doubt, glitch effect. This is fun. Check this out. We're going to go and take the drums out. And then dance break. And then bring the bass in. Mute the kick. And we're back, baby. Or we can just do MultiFX. There is a compressor, I think. No idea what the controls are. They're doing something.